Ice. This was the Trailblazer, the very first spacecraft to intercept a comet. Originally a solar observatory, this repurposed NASA probe was expertly redirected to fly through the plasma tail of Comet Giacobini-Zinner in 1985. It had no cameras, but its instruments provided the first ever direct measurements of the complex electromagnetic environment around a comet. It later made a distant pass of Halley's Comet, proving that cometary encounters were possible and paving the way for all future missions. The Halley Armada. This was not a single mission, but a massive international flotilla sent to study Halley's Comet during its famous 1986 pass. The Soviet Vega 1 and 2 probes acted as pathfinders, bravely plunging through the densest part of the dust cloud first. Though they took heavy damage, they successfully returned the first ever images of a comet's dark, potato-shaped nucleus. Their data then guided the European Space Agency's Giotto probe for a daring suicide dive, passing just 370 miles from the nucleus to capture stunningly detailed images of surface jets before being crippled by a high-speed dust impact. Meanwhile, Japan's first ever deep space missions, Suisei and Sakigake, acted as distant observers, studying the larger-scale interaction between the comet and the solar wind. Together, this armada transformed our understanding of comets from fuzzy points of light into distinct geological worlds. Giotto's extended mission. After its daring encounter with Halley, the battered but still functional Giotto probe was given a second life. Having lost its camera, it was put into hibernation for about 4 years. It was later reawakened and directed to perform a close flyby of a second, smaller comet, 26P/Grigg-Skjellerup, in 1992. This made Giotto the first spacecraft to visit 2 different comets, providing the first crucial data on how these icy bodies can differ from one another. Deep Space One. This NASA mission was primarily a technology demonstration for high-risk systems like an ion engine and autonomous navigation. After successfully completing its main objectives, it was sent on an extended mission to intercept Comet Borrelly in 2001. The flyby was a stunning success, returning the best, most detailed images of a comet's nucleus to that date. It revealed a dark, bowling pin-shaped body with distinct terrain and powerful jets, filling a crucial knowledge gap between the Halley missions and the next generation of comet hunters. Stardust. The first mission to physically touch a comet and bring a piece of it back to Earth. NASA's Stardust flew through the coma, the cloud of gas and dust, of Comet Wild 2. It used a collector filled with aerogel, a remarkable sponge-like solid, to gently capture dust particles. In 2006, its sample return capsule parachuted back to Earth, delivering pristine cometary grains that provided a direct look at the primordial building blocks of the solar system. Contour, the one that got away. This ambitious NASA mission was designed to visit at least 2 different comets, Encke and Schwarzmann-Wachmann 3, providing the first comparative study. After a successful launch in 2002, the solid rocket motor designed to boost it out of Earth orbit fired as planned. However, the spacecraft is believed to have broken apart during this burn, and no further contact was ever made. It was a significant failure that highlighted the risks of interplanetary travel. Deep Impact and EPOXI, humanity's first attempt to shoot a comet. The primary mission of NASA's Deep Impact was to study the interior of Comet Tempel 1. It was a 2-part spacecraft, a flyby mothership, and an 820-pound copper impactor. The impactor successfully slammed into the comet's nucleus, creating a brilliant flash and a crater, while the mothership analyzed the composition of the excavated debris. The surviving flyby spacecraft was then repurposed for a new mission called EPOXI, which successfully performed a flyby of a second comet, Hartley 2. Stardust-NExT, the encore performance. After dropping off its sample from Comet Wild 2, the main Stardust spacecraft was still healthy and had fuel. NASA repurposed it for a new mission called NEXT. Its target was Comet Tempel 1, the same comet previously visited by Deep Impact. This allowed scientists to see how the surface had changed in the intervening years, and to get a look at the crater created by the Deep Impact mission, marking the first time a comet had ever been visited twice. Rosetta and Philae, the most ambitious comet mission ever undertaken. The European Space Agency's Rosetta spent 10 years chasing down comet 67P/Churyumov-Gerasimenko. Upon arrival, it became the first spacecraft to ever orbit a comet. It then deployed the Philae lander, which, after a bouncy landing, became the first probe to touch down on a comet's surface. For 2 years, Rosetta accompanied the comet as it journeyed toward the Sun, watching its surface erupt with jets of gas and dust, providing an unprecedented, long-term study of a comet's life. Tianwen 2. The next generation of comet exploration is already underway. China's Tianwen 2 mission, launched in May 2025, is a dual-purpose endeavor. It will first travel to the near-Earth asteroid Kamo'oalewa to collect a sample and return it to Earth. After dropping off its sample, the main spacecraft will continue on a years-long journey to perform the first-ever close-up rendezvous with a main belt comet, 311P/Pan-STARRS, promising to reveal new insights into these rare and active bodies in the 2030s. Thanks for watching! Which comet mission do you think pushed our understanding forward the most, and why? Let me know in the comments. Please remember to also like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.